Yo, once again, this is Crypto Crazy coming to you live. I hope you guys are good. Today we're going to be looking at another ICO project, EdenChain. It's a new cryptocurrency ICO that is on the block, and it's quite, they've already done the token sale, unfortunately. So if you do get interested after this, you will just have to pick it up during the exchange, most likely when it hits an exchange. But with that said, let me keep you updated so at least you know if it's one to essentially purchase and hold for dear life. First and foremost, as per usual, we're just going to cover several ICO considerations. One, the white paper, two, the team, three, roadmaps, four, expert opinions, and then finally some of the biggest potential issues. We didn't have that last time, but I think it's a good one to throw in there. So first, let's just begin with the white paper. Looking at the layout, the grammar, and the technology. EdenChain's white paper is, I want to say, it's well thought out. It's quite thorough. They definitely cover a range of things, and including the architecture itself, which is what you don't see much of on the website, to be honest. But it's definitely a good white paper. I guess, to be fair, something that I noticed that that maybe due to inexperience or something, I don't know, is that this white paper is extremely technical. It reminds me of the maths abstracts that I generally tend to look at in my day job, that I used to look at quite a lot in university. But it's definitely different. It wasn't as colorful as many. Colors don't win, colors don't deliver though. So that's no big issue. But one thing I really would have personally loved to see would have been some sense of a contents page, breaking down the various where certain things can be found, because I really wanted to just delve in and jump straight into the architecture, architecture section, but I struggled to find it. But yeah, and I struggled to find where certain things went and what certain sections were mainly focused on. So something like a contents page would have been helpful. But that aside, I think this is wonderful. I think it was very well thought out, very well put together. And so I'm definitely going to give them ticks in terms of the grammar, the technology, and the layout. And yeah, like I said, in terms of the technology, maybe I didn't really touch on that. They have put quite a bit more information surrounding the technology on the actual white paper itself, which is encouraging. They break it down into 3 layers. They explain how the different layers work, the validation, etc., and the bridge layer and whatnot. It's quite interesting and definitely worth a read if you do actually consider investing in them. But next, just looking at the team. Again, we'll look at developers and marketing and advisors, but a particular focus on developers. The Eden team project is currently being led by James On, and then he's got Jenny Ryu, Hokyun Kim, and Brian Park working as developers. Mind you, Jenny Ryu is also one of the co-founders. Between them, a wealth of experience. James, in particular, seems to have written books and a numerous number of books, particularly in the areas of like machine learning, etc., and given many conference talks and whatnot. So he's a particularly big name. I've seen a few of the videos as well. He's someone to really watch out for. He seems like a if there was a category above all stars per se, I would give it to him. But then his team also looks extremely solid. Each of them possessing 10 plus, over a decade's worth of experience in the IT arena, which is extremely encouraging. Like I say, with all projects, I care a lot for advisors. I care a lot for operational teams and whatnot. But my biggest concern is always the development team, because they're going to be the ones driving the products essentially in terms of its actual, in terms of actually delivering it. So yeah, I definitely care for that. Aside from their development team, the developers, just to give a few words as per usual, they do seem to have quite a few advisors, which is good. A lot of the advisors again have worked in a range of fields. They do have quite a lot of advisors. I'm looking at them as we speak. Yeah, I'm looking at them as we speak. Their advisors seem to have worked in all kinds of places, in universities. Like I said, a lot of them have PhDs. You know, you've got head of digital and strategic planning, um, and various, you know, professors or whatnot. It seems like they have quite a strong team generally. I can't lie, I'm really not. They have founders and CEOs as well, etc. But I can't lie, you know me. I have a particular bias towards developers. Once the development team is set, you know, I'm set with them, to be honest. And their marketing team, again, EdenChain has over 16,000 people in this Telegram group. They are marketing fine, you know, advisors are fine. Mind you, I appreciate though, there's a difference between marketing in terms of selling it to people in general and having people buy into the product, and actually selling the product to the different spheres that they're trying to target. So that said, I appreciate there's a bit of a difference there, and that probably needs to be acknowledged. And it's probably worth saying that Eden's particular emphasis is in three different areas. One, they seek to try and connect ICO startups to blockchain. Two, they try to essentially link up sellers and buyers. And three, they also try to link up users with loans. And so they're actually trying to do quite a few things simultaneously. Three quite big segments that they're trying to tap into. So they are really trying to be the jack of all trades in terms of this particular blockchain solution, which is quite interesting. In terms of their roadmap, again, let's consider testnet, mainnet, and smart wallets. That's what we're particularly concerned about. I probably should add when people plan to get listed on exchanges, but that's neither here nor there sometimes. But Eden in particular, they haven't actually got a testnet available, I don't believe, nor therefore have they got a mainnet or a smart wallet or anything of that kind. I'm not necessarily 100% sure whether they want to deliver a smart wallet, but anyway, they haven't actually got a testnet. They haven't got a mainnet launched at all yet. So that's something that definitely needs to be worked on. And it's we don't expect to see a testnet until Q4 2018 and a mainnet until Q1 2019. Now that's quite a bit of time. And it's a short time between the testnet and the mainnet launch. Very possible, depending on what exactly is going to be required left post the testnet. But yeah, you've still got quite a bit of time for them to launch a testnet, which is a bit slow, to be honest. But obviously, it just depends on when they started up, and they're a third generation blockchain solution, and so they are going to be behind in terms of when they're going to be releasing a testnet relative to some of the earlier generations. So that said, they do seem to be looking to deliver things from this month, well, from this quarter, which is encouraging. Launching alpha versions of EdenChain and the wallet and EdenCoin, the EdenCoin issuance and the platform launch, etc. You know, and they've kind of split out their roadmap into a business side and a technical side as well. So it's useful to see. But right now they don't actually have a mainnet, a testnet, or a smart wallet. We've looked into those things now, but they do plan on delivering them. It's not ridiculously far away in terms of the timeframes that they're looking to deliver by. You know, Q1 2019 really is a matter of a few months away. So it is still reasonable to, you know, get them to take. They're not that far. They're not that bad, but ideally you would have wished that they would have them a bit sooner. So now that we've covered those things, just a few expert opinions to consider as well. Lendex gave them 84 out of 100. CoinBlock made them bullish. Diddy Carter gave them an A+, and Sergio 88 out of 100. Oh hey Matty 86 out of 100. Ian Bellina 85 out of 100, and Mandy 8 out of 10. I believe that's all. But yeah, these are fantastic ratings. I would definitely give them a wonderful tick for that. I'm happy that we've covered that. You know, that the experts all seem to rate it particularly highly. That's always an encouraging sign. Therefore, it's probably highly likely it will get listed, and there shouldn't be any issues there at the very least. And then it's just a matter of them delivering. But finally, some concerns that we must kind of raise up. One is that they're actually currently behind on making their GitHub publicly available, or at least in clarifying the repository address. On their frequently asked questions, they've said that they should be releasing their GitHub by the end of April, and that's not currently happened. It's May as of the time that I'm actually speaking here. So this is something that they're a bit behind on. That's not good, especially as it's such an early deliverable and it doesn't actually require much of you apart from making something publicly available. And if it has been made available, they should be clear with that and update their webpage. So these are the kind of things that concern slightly. If you can't be faithful with regards to the small deliveries, it makes people a bit less happy that you'll be able to deliver on the bigger things. As well as that, they've set up a second overseas office to reduce the risk of government-related issues, which are actually a concern. They are targeting the Korean market. I believe they're the first blockchain solution to do so. But they also have an office, I believe, in a particular, it might be the British Virginia Islands or something like that, or in Singapore, I don't know, in order to deal with some of these risks. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing that they've at least accommodated for that. Yeah, so they're based in the British Virgin Islands, and they also have a head office. They also have an office in Singapore, and they've incorporated an overseas office because they wanted to reduce their exposure and risk to the potential of government regulations affecting the future of EdenChain's development. So they have considered those things. That is a good sign, but it is something that we should be concerned about slightly. Next is, as I've said, they've not actually got a testnet or a mainnet available. So they're a bit behind some of their peers in that sense. But as we said, they're a third generation blockchain solution. They acknowledge that, and so we can appreciate that will come in time. They're giving us dates which are good, and they seem reasonable. Next is EdenChain. I've taken a line from their one-pager. It essentially says that EdenChain can run infinite transactions per second through infinite namespace, and each one runs in parallel. Essentially, what they've got is on each of their namespaces, they expect to be able to run 1,000 transactions per second, or maybe they can run that already. And then they are essentially saying that it scales linearly. That is very possible, and so the only limitation, therefore, is the number of namespaces available. That is very possibly true. However, usually with these things, there's an overhead associated with them that often makes it difficult to really continually achieve a completely linear pattern, which then means that slowly over time the overhead starts to get larger and larger and larger and larger, to the point where by throwing more and more namespaces at it won't actually make things faster. That's possibly the case, meaning that ultimately it won't be infinite number of transactions per second. Obviously, you're also limited by the number of namespaces, and that in and of itself is another issue. So I just don't think that it's great to put that kind of line there, but I appreciate the sentiment. And it's possible that I've misunderstood the nature of what the overhead could look like. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. And then trying to do a lot for a single coin. Like I said, they're trying to tap into various things, whether it be lending, whether it be allowing connecting ICOs to industries into the blockchain field, or there just seems to be quite a few things. It would be much better, in my opinion, if they were to focus on one particular area and then work from there. But it does seem like they're trying to do a lot and deliver upon a lot on the various fields simultaneously, if you look at the roadmap. But that said, I do think it's a wonderful coin. I do think they've clearly thought things out. I think that the white paper is particularly technical, and that's also particularly encouraging for me personally. And I'm particularly impressed, especially with their team. And I think the team essentially makes or breaks a product. So I would have happily invested in this product, albeit I was a bit late to find out about them, or to really sit down and do my research. But that said, I'll survive. I'll live on. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope this was useful. If there's anything else that you guys want to suggest or challenge, or hit me up in the comments and we can discuss. And yeah, hopefully we can continue to review these ICOs This isn't financial advice. You know, you do make sure that if you want to invest in these kind of things, you go where you consult a financial advisor. You look at these things for yourself. But me personally, my personal opinion is that I think this is a good investment. However, like I said, I've missed the ICO data. So, but yeah, that said, this is Crypto Crazy once again, and we out. Cool.